Jon Polar Bear Gonzalez has been doing all these incredible videos on social media. Possibly you've seen them, but if you haven't, you are going to have a chance to see him live in Chicago at Zanies coming up at the end of April. Jon Polar Bear Gonzalez, tell us a little bit about how you got started, and especially like your viral fame taking off, especially during the pandemic.
Yeah, so I've been doing stand-up comedy for 10 years in July, and I've been doing skits for about 6.5 years now. I had my first viral video back in 2016, and it was on Facebook, and that kind of built a little bit of a following for me, especially in Chicago. I know a lot of people in Chicago who have been following me since like 2017, 2018, and I would always be able to check the analytics on Facebook, and Chicago was like always one of my biggest followings. So I'm just like, I'm so thrilled to finally be going out there and actually doing stand-up comedy. So, but during the pandemic, I got on TikTok and I started doing skits, and one of them took off like wildfire. And it was one that it was a joke that I turned into a skit, and it was about me growing up half white, half Hispanic, and it was the struggles of growing up half white, half Hispanic. And it was basically me grabbing the milk from the fridge and telling my tia that the milk was expired. And my tia telling me like, no, that's just a suggestion, Miko, it's fine. And she smells it. And it took off like wildfire. And people were like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Do more of these. And to me, I had been looking for something to like really like grab my niche like the whole time I've been doing comedy, which I've always done the half white, half Hispanic and stand up. But as far as like skits, I never really thought of making skits out of them. So when they said that, I was like, oh, dude, like this is my life growing up. I can do this all day, you know, and then really the rest is history.
Now let's go back to Chicago. So it's going to be your first time here. You said you had a lot of fans here. You know, we're excited to have you here. Have you gotten suggestions as far as like where you got to eat, what you got to do? You know, have your fans come out as far as, you know, suggestions for having a good time in our city?
Not really, no. Of course, I'm going to try the deep dish pizza, of course. But where I've always wanted to go in Chicago is Second City, just because Chris Farley is like one of my idols. And the reason I am who I am today and have the confidence that I have is because of him. And he really got his start at Second City before he even went on SNL. So I'm really looking forward to checking that place out.
You know, it's something similar to My Big Fat Greek Wedding is that, you know, even though I'm not of Greek descent, there's so many family things that, you know, when you talk about different cultures that many people could relate to. Obviously, you know, a big Latin community here in Chicagoland, and you know, being from Texas, I'm sure, you know, there's also that same type of community. But do you get a lot of people who maybe are not of Latin descent that are like, oh my goodness, this is my family exactly?
So many. And that's the thing, man. It's like I've had all kind of different like nationalities reach out to me. Like, I'm half white, half Puerto Rican. I'm half white, half Dominican. I'm half white, half Brazilian. I'm half white, half Mexican. Reach out to me and they're like, dude, I can relate to your material so much because it's something that I've always noticed growing up, and I have like 10 to 15 minutes. So if you go to the show, you'll see it in my stand-up, and I compare everything, and it's just totally different. I've always noticed it growing up. And then when I started like getting into comedy and doing comedy, I was like, this is too funny not to write about.
So I want to talk about the characters that you do for these videos. And obviously I've talked a lot, and we could talk a little bit about your other parts of comedy, but you know, you do a lot with your Theo and a lot with your Dia. Are they based off real relatives or just people that you have put together as far as characters for these funny skits?
No, they're actually based off my Tia and my Theo. And my Tia wants her royalties. So, and if y'all could keep her in your prayers, I'd appreciate it. She just had open heart surgery like last month. She had 2 arteries that were completely clogged, and she's doing better. She's fine. She's recovering. So it's just kind of a long road to recovery. And then my Theo, of course, my Theo is a character, man. Like, I told him like, hey, Theo, you're famous. And my dad was like, don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. Cause now he's going to be all big. He's like, hey, Miko, come down here. Come down here, Miko. We got to do a TikTok. We got to do a TikTok. Like, you don't even know what TikTok is, Theo, but I'll be down there so we can do one and I can show everybody who you really are. So